upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully is disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little bro, them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset. Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday. Of course, we are live right here from the Maize Madman studio for another episode of the Maize and Blue and Gold show. We're just awaiting my co-host Ryan Fravel, the very now famous Ryan Fravel, who just had his first show, or his first article released on Irish Tribune, I think it is. So shout out to Ryan for that. One second while I fix some audio problems. All right. I think that's it. Josh, what's going on, sir? Thank you for joining us today. We need Aaron Scott. Yes, we do. Detroit Lions talk with Opaz. I agree with that 1,000%. Defensive back recruiting, it's not looking great right now for Michigan. Adding somebody like Aaron Scott would immediately change that. Why is dude never on time? Man, that's an excellent question. And you can ask the man himself. Why are you always late, sir? The people want to know.
Perks of having a family.
You're my favorite. Well, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I can
exactly.
I understand that completely. You're my favorite Michigan creator. I appreciate that. A lot of people have told me that, and I appreciate everyone who feels that way. I just hope to keep creating and keep impressing you guys. So thank you for that. It's looking poorly. It is, man, in terms of the defensive back recruiting. I know Ryan is always late, Josh. Throwing you under the bus there. All right, man. We got some things to discuss today. I primed everybody by letting them know that your first article for Irish Tribune was released. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a good read. And it just happened to be on Justin Scott and his shocking commitment to the other state. What's your perspective on that?
Actually makes me want to puke right now thinking of Justin Scott wearing that jersey from the disgusting, vile cesspool in Columbus.
Absolutely. You said that really well too.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that hopefully, you know what, like Notre Dame people have been saying, get Scott on that OV for the Ohio State game. Say, hey man, even if you don't want to flip and you're committed to Ohio State, whatever, come to the game for free, and you can watch the team that you are going to play for, right?
Right.
And then Notre Dame blows the ever-living crap out of Ohio State and says, hey man,
that would be good.
You made a wrong decision. That's what I'm hoping.
You're pardoned, but when you're late,
I'm upset. I appreciate it, Rock City.
Absolutely. Justin Scott was so shocking. You're telling me, man, that was crazy. Okay, so I think what hurt the most was what he said after he committed. For Michigan fans, and I know for Notre Dame fans, as Ryan, you pointed out in your article, it's kind of shocking that you guys finished in third place when the talk, for the last couple of weeks have been Michigan and Notre Dame. And really, I even thought like Notre Dame might have had like a slight upper hand there just because you guys were in it and seemed to be in the lead for so long,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then obviously he took his official to Michigan. Michigan impressed, which was great. Uh, but to know that he was this close to committing to Michigan really stung. That hurt my heart. And then for him to commit to the other state was just the worst. That was the icing on the cake, if you will, for how upset I am.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I have like I'm obviously pissed off about it. I'm sure you and many Michigan fans are as well.
Oh
Especially
yes,
after reading
yes,
the what is the thing that Hayes Fawcett put out where he said it was
right.
Michigan. It was gonna be
Disgusting.
Michigan.
Right,
Halfway through my Ohio State visit, it was still Michigan.
right.
And then something happened where he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Ohio State."
What do you think that? What do you think that something is?
Don't want to speculate here because we don't do
Don't
that
want to
on the Maize
speculate.
Blue and Gold show. But someone might have dropped the McDonald's bag.
He might have dropped. He might have found a McDonald's bag.
He might have got a DoorDash right
Right,
to
right.
wherever his hotel he was staying at. So
Man,
I don't want to speculate, but I will say this: it's kind of interesting. This recruitment is kind of like a roller coaster to follow
yeah,
because how many different schools just in the last 3 weeks has he almost committed to?
yeah, that's fair, right? Like
I mean,
some people, after the Georgia visit, it was like, oh, Georgia's in the lead, and this is a foregone conclusion.
then it was
Before that,
Miami,
right? Yeah, Miami. Before that, it
Notre
was you
Dame.
guys for like the longest time.
Then after the
In
Michigan
fact,
visit, Michigan. I mean,
yeah,
like Jesus,
you
is
guys
it?
seem to be so far in the lead that it didn't even look like we were going to get an OV for a while. I don't
I
know if
mean,
you remember
you know
that.
what's crazy though? I've seen Notre Dame fans on Twitter bashing Marcus Freeman because if we remember, Justin Scott was going to commit to Notre Dame in January. The reason that
Right.
didn't happen was because Marcus Freeman told him, "Hey,
Yeah.
I
Go
don't want you to
take your visit.
commit. Go
Right.
take your visits before you commit because we don't want to have a Keon Keeley situation."
Right.
Um, and people are like, "You should have just took his commitment then." I don't think that
Yeah.
changes anything because even if he commits to Notre Dame at that point, who's to say the same thing doesn't happen? You know what I mean?
So
Like,
what do you think? What do you think of the thinking that if he commits to Notre Dame, then maybe he doesn't take some of these visits, or if he commits to Notre Dame, then maybe it's that much harder to convince him to flip. Now, I'm not saying that he wouldn't because we've seen guys commit to schools for years and then, at
mm,
the last minute or whatever it is, somebody else impresses them and they flip their commitment. But it seems like, it was a possibility.
can I also say it also seemed like just the last 3 weeks, I feel like Scott committed off of official visit highs. We always talk about like kids have those OV highs where they come off of a visit and they, those kids that like everything and they always
Right.
almost feel pressured to commit to somewhere because oh man, I really like this visit. I gotta kind of. It just felt like to me wherever Scott was visiting that week, he was gonna commit to,
Yeah.
and I think it's not really a coincidence that he took a visit to Ohio State as his last OV, and he ends up in their class. But
Yeah.
either way, I think you can agree with me. I don't think this is over. I think
I,
he's
I definitely
a
don't.
big
Right.
flip candidate.
Yeah. I think he's his his own quote leaves open the door, right?
Yep.
So it's for sure. I don't think it's over. I think I think Michigan, I think Notre Dame are going to continue to recruit him. Hell, even maybe even Georgia and Miami, because the bag masters are Miami. Tie 5 says all the recruiting battles Michigan loses is due to another school dropping the bag. I'm not going to go that far because I know
Yeah.
that's a little unrealistic, but it is a different game now. Kids are getting money to go to these schools, and some schools are more willing to play the game. That being said, all of the recruiting battles don't come down to the bag. So I will say that. Let's see what else we got. Hopefully, level one. This one that we had, yeah, the ones we had to lead it. I get it. Yeah, tie 5. I understand that. Owen Wayful.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah,
I
that.
mean,
I mean, hopefully it turns out to be that way. Obviously, just from watching tape, not right now, but you know he will be in the Ben Herbert program. We'll see how it works out. I do expect for him to be a force and make plays. Somewhere early on, actually, before the show even started, let me get back to that comment. Ross here says, I saw another Michigan channel. Dude said Scott straight up told him he wanted to go to a school where he was guaranteed to start year one. So take that for what it's worth. What do you think of that?
Okay. He's going to start year one at any school inside of his top 5. That's what I believe that. Okay. I know for a fact
he wouldn't start year one for Michigan unless he was
he would at Notre Dame. Oh, he definitely
yes, I agree. I do believe that
he would start year because we don't really have like a lot of depth on the D line. I mean, Tyson Ford is going to be one of our starters this year. He was a top 100 recruit 2 cycles ago.
Right.
And Justin Scott's just flat out better than anybody in the D line room we have right now. So
yeah,
he would start at Notre Dame. He'd definitely start at Miami. I think he starts at Ohio State because Ohio State's defense is trash. Let's see. Who else is in it? Who is the other top 5? Who's the other one? Georgia? He's probably not starting year one at Georgia. But he's not starting year one at Georgia. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I really – I think what's going to end up happening is because especially since it was so close with Michigan, I think – because Marcus Freeman, the staff already came out and said that they're not letting him down. Like they're gonna push for this kid. Like, they're gonna stay on
and they
him.
shouldn't. They shouldn't. I wouldn't if I was them either.
So the goal right now is to get him on that OV. So my thought is, especially if Michigan and Notre Dame have successful seasons, like I think they will. I mean, for people that forgot, I have Michigan going 12-0, and then I have Notre Dame going 11-1. If Notre Dame, Michigan, that plays out like that, I mean, and Ohio State has 2-3 losses, I think Scott kind of questions where he wants to go.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think if, especially if you guys can pick up that win, now you have put me in a position where I have to root for you. But I also think you guys winning that game puts us in a bit of a spot too. So it's really a double-edged sword, right? Because
that's what sucks about winning that game. Your official visit so early. That's what sucks. But the thing is, you guys had to use that. You guys had to use it now because we gained some ground. But
absolutely,
that's the tough part, man.
Yeah, it is. And I agree with that. We did have to use it when we used it, and it looked like it was gonna work out for us. But you know, things change in college football, I suppose, and it definitely changed for us there. Now back to him starting year one. I agree with you. I think he would start year one at Notre Dame, and that's no shot to Notre Dame's talent. Obviously, they have some talent on the football team. But along our defensive line, we had a true freshman last year that really tore it up. Mason Graham was our defensive tackle for us last year alongside Maize Smith. Obviously, Maize moved on, but we had a guy behind him in Kenneth Grant who, you know, was up and coming, another young guy who was up and coming. So I think Mr. Scott would have had to really been phenomenal to start year one, because not only it wouldn't even be this year for those guys, it'd be the next year for those guys who would have had another year under Ben Herbert and in the program and learning the plays and things like that. It would have been a tough mountain to overcome, but you know, he is a 5-star talent. Who knows what could have happened.
Hey, hold on, Phil. We got to address the elephant in the room, or should we call the disgusting, vile cesspool that is Columbus. I think this is the first time since we've done the show that Buckeye fans have came in here to talk trash.
Yeah, Mr. Big Buckeye Garrison actually has been in the comment section of the Maize Madman channel for a while now. I appreciate him actually because he does bring a different perspective. Obviously, he's a fan of the other state. But again, I don't think anybody is blaming NIL for we just had a little fun with
No,
the
we were
bag
just
dropping.
joking around with that. But
that being said,
but
sure
no, I'm
you guys
just saying
did
it's
drop a bag.
hilarious because like the guy, this was it Mellow number 7.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
okay.
I didn't even peep him.
But I was gonna say really quick.
We'll soon have Aaron Scott. Hey, it looks like that may be the truth.
Wait a
actually,
minute.
it looks.
Phil, you know what I just realized? This should be breaking news. Ohio State got a 5-star that's not a wide receiver. That's insane. That is insane.
That's
to
nuts.
think about.
Right.
That's why when I was like, first of all, it was like when I seen it, I'm like, damn. Okay, so Justin Scott really went to Ohio State over Michigan.
But go off,
Notre
says
Dame?
a man on third base.
but
right.
wait a minute, and then my mind went, wait, a 5-star defensive lineman?
Right.
Ohio State got a 5-star defensive player? Man, that's insane. That's crazy. Like, crazy. I didn't know they did that over there in Columbus.
No, they don't. They don't do that in Columbus. But, good for them. A little golf clap for...
Maybe Justin Scott can go play DB for him, too.
Play a little free safety back there. Oh, man. Lord knows they need it.
And they can have all their 5-star receivers, like we said, to be Iron Man athletes, just play offense and defense.
Right. Moving on, switching gears just a little bit. Michigan did pick up 4-star defensive edge out of Ohio. Well, he's the Ohio native, but he's technically out of Florida because his family moved to Florida, although he's moving back to Ohio now out of Cincinnati Taft. Mr. Elias Rudolph, another win over that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus for another 4-star recruit. Now they're going to downplay this and they're going to say, oh, well, we stopped recruiting the kid. Well, what happened was the kid canceled his official visit to the other state is what really happened. But, go off, as they like to say. But what are your thoughts on Michigan recruiting in the state of Ohio this year?
Hasn't Michigan been doing pretty well in Ohio the last couple of years?
No, actually, to be honest, Michigan hasn't done that well in Ohio in terms of their top tier talent for a good many years. So this is really refreshing to see them back in that state making some hay.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, perks of beating Ohio State the last 2 years.
For sure. Yeah.
I will say this, and I want all the Ohio State fans in this chat. I'm going to say this right now. If Michigan beats you guys this year for the 3rd straight year, which is going to happen, newsflash, you guys are officially Michigan's second Lil Bro-Nim.
Second Lil Bro.
Then that slides Michigan State to Lil Bro-Nim Jr.
Poor Lil Bro-Nim. This is it'll be new. Look at this, man. I think you're pissing them off.
It'll be news to see Andy beat. Yeah, it will when that happens, and I get to storm the field because I'll be there at the game. And by the way, because the last time Ohio State played an actually halfway decent team that wasn't named Michigan, and the Oregon Ducks, they got beat at home. And you know what Oregon fans left? A rubber ducky right in the middle of the O. So you know what I'm gonna do when we beat Ohio State? I'm gonna go walk up to one of the Ohio State players. I'm gonna hand him a shamrock. I'm gonna do it.
Please don't be on the news for getting decked at a football game.
No,
Don't
man,
be
I'll be like,
that
hey, man, you
guy.
want some Lucky Charms? I'll bring like a box of Lucky Charms.
There you go. Man, look at it. Oh man, they're naming players now. Look at this. Chase Young, the Bosas, Sam Hubbard, etc. Oh man,
Ryan is gonna get decked.
decked for sure.
Oh man,
Is the D-line coach Larry Johnson at OSU known for producing the
I have no
high-quality
idea who he
defensive
is,
line?
to be honest.
It is Larry Johnson. He hasn't produced one of those high-quality defensive linemen though in quite some time. So yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily his producing of high-quality defensive linemen. That's back when you guys actually used to get 5-star defensive linemen, like the Bosas, So there's that as well.
Really quick, also Phil, because I know we got a lot of Ohio State fans in here. Let's talk about Western Kentucky for a minute. No, I'm joking.
That team is gonna upset
the Hilltoppers, man.
That is heresy to call OSU little brother. Oh man.
Oh.
Now they big little brother, right?
They big little bro now.
Right. And then Michigan State is just little brother.
They're just like a baby at this point.
Right.
Little baby
we gotta burp them and everything. It's crazy.
You gotta let them win. You gotta let them win every once in a while, just so they don't throw a temper tantrum.
Oh, they won't. They're not gonna be happy with us this year. That's for sure.
Oh God, that bludgeoning.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Hey, you know what? Was it there were what? Michigan State players that got arrested for assault last year.
Yeah.
There might be some Michigan players that get arrested for assault because of oh my God, the manslaughter that's going to take place on that field.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty bad, and I don't think they understand just how bad it's going to be. But let them find out for themselves. I want to get your article up so people can take a look. Let you
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
get my promo out there.
Exactly. Let people know where they can find your articles going forward.
I'm gonna be
it's pretty good.
So basically, I don't know if you went into detail, but I got hired as a recruiting analyst for the Irish Tribune. So I'm gonna be handling anything and everything recruiting. My guys over at Irish Tribune have connections with CJ Carr, Cam Williams, all of Notre Dame's current recruits.
Nice.
They also have ties with Justin Scott. So I'm going to be doing a piece actually either this week or next week. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's little brother is a 5-star top 20 player in the 2025 class. And I'm going to be doing an interview with him as well as JOK himself. And we're going to be posting an article kind of like facing like what pressure does Owusu-Koramoah's little brother have to go to Notre Dame? Like, how does that affect his recruitment? His brother being an All-American at Notre Dame, being a superstar linebacker at Notre Dame. Like, how does that affect his recruitment? And it's going to be really interesting. So I'm very excited for that. So be on the lookout for that. And I'm sure Michigan will go after him as always.
We do enjoy taking other people's players. It's one of our favorite pastimes.
You just can't lock up the top talent in the state of Michigan.
Oh,
no, I'm joking.
No, that's real.
CJ Carr.
That's 2 years in a row. The top quarterback who just happened to be the top player in the state of Michigan has not gone to Michigan. And next year, it could be if we have a similar situation next year, it could be catastrophic because the best quarterback I've seen come out of high school in a long time is the number 1 recruit in the state of Michigan again, and that's Bryce Underwood, and we have to have him. Bottom line.
So what? Dante Moore went to what? He went to UCLA, right?
Yeah. Initially, he went to Oregon. Then that, flipped that to UCLA. Yeah.
So and then CJ Carr's at Notre Dame.
Right.
So like, what would Bryce Underwood just like? Because that's Pac-12, independent.
Yeah.
We'll see if he doesn't
Bryce
go to
Underwood,
Michigan. He goes to Alabama.
who is one of who appears to be one of his finalists. He put out a little 4 schools. I'm not sure if it's a finalist list because it's so far away for him, but it included LSU, Alabama, Michigan, and the other state. Now, if he goes to the other state, Michigan and Ohio might go to war again. That's it's they might have to fight for Toledo again or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and speaking of Notre Dame, with their quarterback 2025 it's looking really good for Deuce Knight.
Yeah.
I know we had talked about it, I think last week. It wasn't looking too good. Things have progressed, and we're getting Deuce Knight on an official visit on July 27th. So he's good. That's our big cookout recruiting weekend where we have all of our top recruiting targets for the 2025 class. Some 2024 commits will be there as well. And it looks right now that it's Notre Dame, Tennessee. And the feeling is that if Notre Dame can have a really good official visit with him, that Deuce Knight might lock up his commitment this summer and commit to Notre Dame. So I'm very excited. Could you imagine going, you have back-to-back classes, you get C.J. Carr, the top 5 quarterback in his class. Then you get Deuce Knight, who's a top 3 quarterback in his class, in back-to-back years. I mean, I don't think Notre Dame's recruited that well at quarterback. Maybe since the last time they won a Natty. I mean, it's rare for Notre Dame to have 2 top 5 quarterbacks in back-to-back classes.
How far apart were Clausen and
Brady Quinn?
Brady Quinn, yeah.
Brady Quinn came in 2003.
Okay.
So, he was class of 2003, and Jimmy Clausen was the class of 2009. So 6-year span.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a good amount of time there. Good stretch.
So,
Jimmy Clausen, were you excited about Jimmy Clausen when you guys first got him?
Yeah, I still think he's probably the best. I think he was better than Brady Quinn in terms of the attributes he had.
Right.
The issue with Jimmy Clausen is he came to Notre Dame at the worst time. He had no wide receivers to throw to. I mean, Kyle Rudolph was his best receiver. I guess he had Michael Floyd or Golden Tate, one of the two. But he just didn't have enough around him. His offensive line was garbage. That was the Charlie Weiss year, so the end of the Charlie Weiss era. And we know how bad Charlie Weiss was at coaching.
Go on.
So, yeah, I really think he had a lot of potential that just wasn't untapped in college because he went to Notre Dame.
Absolutely. Really quick, this is Ryan's article, 5-star defensive lineman Justin Scott commits to OSU. What happened and what's next for the Irish. It's a good read over at theirishtribune.com. Make sure you check it out. Show my guy some love over there.
Appreciate it.
The comment section really went to my guy Troy says they're no relationship at all. You're right. They're like little stepbrother. The other
they're little cousin. Little cuz.
This is a great one. Thank you, Josh, for this. Actually, it's been 1,313 days since Michigan lost to the other state. You know how it's a long time. That's years now. 2000.
No, man, that's almost, was that 3 years? Because that's what, 365 days in a year?
That's more than 3 years. Right?
That's 4 years. There's no way it's been 4 years. How does that math work? It's 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, 2020 we got COVID.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
COVID. Right.
Yeah.
And that was legit, by the way. We had COVID. We couldn't play the game. I'm sorry.
You weren't ducking?
We weren't ducking. We were trying to recover from the vid.
Were you guys really bad that year?
We were not a very good football team.
Didn't you guys lose to Indiana that year?
Why are you bringing up old stuff, man? Look, we are a different football team now. We had to have I think we went double overtime with Rutgers that year.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, I think.
Who was your
Look,
quarterback? That wasn't
yes, it
McNamara,
was.
was it?
Well, McNamara actually. That's why I stand by and say Kate McNamara is the most important quarterback in modern history for the Wolverines. I stand by that statement. He's not the best. He's just the most important because we had uh, Joe Milton was
Oh
our
yeah.
starting quarterback,
Oh, you know what?
and
I remember that year. Wasn't it your first game against Minnesota?
yes, and he looked great. Joe Milton looked phenomenal in that game, and then I don't know what happened after that, and
He
it
had you
wasn't great.
befuddled.
Yeah, exactly. And Kate McNamara had to come in against Rutgers of all team and save us, and probably save Jim Harbaugh's job. If I'm being honest, because you can't lose to Rutgers and keep your job. That's just it can't go down like that. Kate McNamara changed the culture for sure. I agree with that.
Now, does he go
Jovan, man.
change the culture at Iowa?
I think he does. I think they're gonna average those 21 points that they need for the OC to keep his job.
Oh my God!
You already know how I feel about this. I think Michigan meets
I had
Iowa
Iowa.
in the Big Ten championship game.
I don't think I had Iowa. I think I had Illinois. That's crazy. No.
Which you just I guess you just like to say Illinois.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm from Illinois, so anytime the
Yeah, I
Illini
know. I
are
mean,
good,
it's like a homer pick for you.
yeah. Hey, man, when Illinois is good,
Yeah.
like, because you don't understand how depressing Illinois fans are. Man,
I didn't even know Illinois had fans.
Yeah, they have fans when they're good.
Okay.
You remember the good old days?
I remember Juice.
Juice Williams.
Yeah.
Nathan Shieldhouse. Do you remember that game in 2007 against Michigan? When Michigan was, no, was it 2006 or 2007? Michigan was I think the number one team in the country. It was 2006.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 2008, one of the two. But I remember you guys played a game at Illinois.
Yeah.
And it was the biggest game in Illinois history. And they upset you guys with good old Nathan Shieldhouse. That after he got done playing for Illinois, he ended up selling hot dogs at the stadium.
Damn it, really?
Yeah.
Come on, yo.
He goes out there and upsets Michigan and then doesn't do anything with his career.
Milton had you guys
bamboozled.
Definitely did. Because look, he played well last year in that bowl game for Tennessee. He looked really good.
He looked really good. 3 touchdown passes, almost 300 yards passing.
Yeah, I don't want him back though. They can keep him. Yeah.
Hey man, Tennessee's gonna go 12-0 because of Joe Milton.
Stop it.
I'd say
Tennessee's gonna lose to Georgia like they do.
No, they got Georgia at home this year. That's a different animal playing at Rocky Top.
I mean, I guess I will say they got one of the better home field advantages.
The only downside is they can't afford new goalposts. They got to come up with a GoFundMe.
Yes. And by the way, Javon May, I agree with this too. JJ is more athletic and he does have a higher ceiling. He's a better quarterback than Kate McNamara, just bottom line. But Kate did what he did.
Fooled too. Hey man, Virginia Tech fans were saying the same thing when Hendon Hooker went to Tennessee.
Man, that's true. Hendon Hooker really came to Tennessee. I guess Tennessee is where you go for career.
Their offense, it's just their defense is trash. Their defense is like Oklahoma trash, but their coach and their offense is built.
Who was a former Sooner himself?
Yeah, their offense is just built for quarterbacks to succeed. You could honestly, I bet you put Drew Pine, Cade McNamara, Graham Mertz on that team, and they probably turn into really good quarterbacks.
What's your problem with Drew Pine, man?
Don't get me started about Drew Pine. I don't want that tree anywhere near us anymore.
Serviceable minutes for you guys. By the way,
you know how many balls he had batted down at the line of scrimmage? Because he's only 5'9".
Well, you guys should have blocked better. Make sure you and subscribe to both the Maze Madman and Week Zero. It is streaming on both channels. Make sure you do us that solid. I appreciate it. Share the live with your friends. We have a good time over here. Let's see, unless it rains. Speaking of that, I saw Michigan is putting like 20 million in the stadium for upgrades. Yeah, I think it's like the scoreboard and two scoreboards actually at both end zones now, I think. So both end zones will get scoreboard upgrades. They also put together or just recently constructed a privacy fence for the outdoor field, which I think that's kind of whack. Let the fans see the practices. But I also get it too because you don't want your enemies getting information. Irony is Oklahoma offense was average at best with Heupel at QB. That's true. That is absolutely true. Blank name.
But Oklahoma hasn't played defense since Bob Stoops retired.
So, yeah, and that's definitely when Bob Stoops was there with Heupel. So
yeah,
for sure. I remember that national championship game. I thought they were going to get smacked. I think they were playing Florida State. And that's like when Florida State had, I think, Peter Warwick and the old quarterback. They had a quarterback that was like 37. I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Josh makes a good point here. He says Graham Mertz, LOL. I think that might be the only quarterback in college football that can go suit up for Tennessee and still look like trash.
Notre Dame fans, Justin Scott was never going to Notre Dame. He admitted he was going to commit to Michigan before OSU dropped the belt.
Well, that's factually incorrect because he was going to commit to Notre Dame in January. So I wouldn't say never. Never. Yeah. No,
but I was telling you, I was telling you in the weeks leading to his ultimate commitment to that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus that Michigan had more traction than you thought because you thought it was a Notre Dame Miami deal.
Well, that's what everybody was reporting.
Nope. Michigan. I reported. You heard it here first. Maize Madman, I got the juice.
Well, you know what's crazy? Like,
I knew that was wrong.
What was his name? EJ, the guy that covers you guys on 3. What's his name?
Yeah, EJ Allen.
Dude was literally talking about how he wasn't confident in Michigan getting Justin Scott like a week ago, and I'm like, dude, now he was going to commit to Michigan, and you didn't know that? Like EJ Holland, man, like. Even when you post like positive stuff or negative stuff from Michigan, it's like, dude, you're wrong.
Didn't he? I think his career started actually writing for you guys, right?
No. I don't know where he came from.
No, I'm pretty sure he started with Notre Dame. He then ended up with Texas, or maybe it was flipped. You might have flipped that. It was Texas, then Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, then Texas, and now with Michigan. But he's had like these jobs with like the biggest institutions in college football, and a lot of people get on him about like his inaccurate information, and he gets kind of personal with like recruits' families. Let me say allegedly he gets personal with recruits' families because I don't know if you've seen, but he and Sam Webb, who works for 24/7, Michigan's 24/7, the TMI, he and EJ Holland have these back and forth spats on Twitter. It's hilarious. If you're bored one day, just check that out.
Bro, EJ Holland, like it's funny. There's a whole part on the Notre Dame board that fans of Notre Dame fans put together of EJ Holland's worst takes, but they call them like EJ Holland's best moments. And there was like quotes because I don't know if Michigan fans know this, but Notre Dame fans, we creep over on your guys' board to see what you guys talk about.
Of course, because we are the talk of college football.
And Michigan fans do the same thing to us. But anyway, there was like a comment when TJ Carr was like going to commit, and He came out with an article saying CJ Carr is the best quarterback in this class. He's going to be 100% Michigan. And they said, and then it was like a few moments later, that gif of like from
Few
SpongeBob. And it's
moments
like,
later, right.
CJ Carr commits to Notre Dame. And then it's like a quote the next day after he committed. CJ Carr is very overrated. Is very unpolished. Not a top 10 quarterback. I'm like, dude, you literally have no credibility.
So
like even Michigan fans were like, dude, you are.
Oh yeah, because here's what I don't know if you've heard what he did allegedly. Let me say this allegedly because I don't want his fans. His fans have been on my channel a couple times trying. Anyway, I don't want to get into that either. But allegedly, he talks bad about Jaden Davis and his family, right? He is part of the reason, allegedly, that Jaden Davis's stock or his rating fell on 3. Now, granted, this is before the Elite 11. This is way before that, and that's one of the reasons he and Sam Webb kind of bump heads is over the whole Jaden Davis thing. He was talking bad about Jaden Davis for months leading up to his commitment. In fact, like his father, Davis's father, like made it a point to come out and say that this guy is basically lying and doesn't have contact with our family. So all of his like,
why hasn't he gotten fired? Why has EJ Holland not gotten fired? I don't understand.
I don't know either. And I want to say all of this is alleged because
it's allegedly, but still, like if there's, I'm sure there's Twitter receipts about this, but like I think that's very unprofessional. And
Justice Scott is a clown. Damn.
Like
Tell us how you really feel.
I love On3 because I like how their recruiting rankings are not as biased as other sites, but I mean some of their writers are very questionable. Like some of the people that just like come out and they write articles about just spewing stuff and making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, EJ Holland is like, it's literally a meme. I mean, when Michigan commits, like when Michigan fans get commits, Michigan people tag him. Like, EJ Holland, I thought he was going to Ohio State. And then like if Notre Dame gets somebody that Michigan wanted, Notre Dame fans will be, hey, EJ Holland, I thought he was coming to Michigan.
Right.
And then EJ Holland will say, well, Michigan didn't want him. Like he tried saying that Michigan didn't want CJ Carr. Like that they were disinterested. Well, I'm like, dude, you were just dumb.
I'm gonna tell you, once he committed to Notre Dame, Michigan fans and
I'm sure they didn't want him then, but I'm saying like this was like right after the commit. You know how fans are like, oh, they didn't want him anyway.
Right.
Like,
yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
Like you can't just have the number one quarterback in your state and be like, I don't want him.
All right, let's toss it to the comment section. I want to ask you guys some questions. Let us know what you think. What do you think Michigan's odds are for landing 4-star cornerback Aaron Scott out of Springfield, Ohio? Let us know in the comment section. And what do you think the odds are for Notre Dame to land Deuce Knight, the 4-star quarterback in the 2025 class out of Mississippi? Which, again, I think that's impressive. Notre Dame reaching into SEC territory to get one of the better quarterbacks out of that region. That would be very impressive.
Dude, I've watched him. Like, I've just been, like, following his camping and stuff like that. And
right.
This kid, like, Bryce Underwood, to me, is a clear cut. Like, he's the best quarterback in class.
Right.
But there's a legit argument that Deuce Knight could be number 2. I mean, dude, he reminds me so much of, like, he's almost like a mix between Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson. Like, he's got Lamar Jackson's mobility, but he's got Deshaun Watson's arm strength. And that to me would be a dream quarterback for Notre Dame. The question is, what pressure does that put on both of them when CJ gets here? And then we got another 5-star, like borderline 5-star quarterback coming in.
Right.
Behind CJ. Like, does that put pressure on CJ to, like, man, I got to win the starting job as a freshman?
What do you think what do you think it's for Deuce? Do you think that that is a deterrent that CJ Carr is in the class ahead of him?
No, because he's spoken about that, and his top two teams right now are Tennessee and Notre Dame. And if
Yeah,
we remember, Tennessee has a five-star quarterback that they got last year as well. So I think he said himself he doesn't care about competition,
yeah,
but I don't know, like, this Deuce transfer, if he doesn't start within his first year, maybe second, I don't know.
yeah,
But either way, that's still really impressive because Brian Kelly never recruited two
for
top
sure.
five quarterbacks back to back. But either way, I really quick before we get to the comments, five-star Elijah Rushing is going to be announcing his commitment tomorrow.
Hmm.
Uh, Everybody was thinking it was Oregon. Now it looks like he's going to stay home and go to
USC,
Arizona
Arizona,
to go play with
not
his brother.
Arizona State,
No,
Arizona.
Arizona, the
That's
same team that
interesting.
went 5-7. So I mean, that's so odd to me. Like because like we all know Oregon's dropping the bags. Phil Knight's dropping the Nike bags everywhere. But you know what? I'm going to give that kid props. Like, because his top three is Notre Dame, Oregon, and Arizona.
Right.
Give him props for staying home, man. Like that, we don't see a lot of these top five-star kids go stay close to home and play for a school, even though they may not be a blue blood.
Yeah,
I have a lot of respect if he goes to Arizona.
for sure. Um, Let me get to a couple of these comments. First, Drew Drew Smith says, "Has TCU announced when they'll retire JJ's number?"
Wait, hold on. Has Michigan announced when they are retiring Max Duggan's number? Has that happened yet? Has that happened? Because I think that's got to be a two-way street.
Oh man. Well, I think he's saying that because JJ
Went off.
gifted, a couple pick sixes. Um, but no, they haven't announced.
Hey,
To be fair.
give what was the linebacker that was in it? Was it Bud Clark or something like that
Yeah,
for
yeah,
TC? He got two. He got both of them. Nah, man,
yeah,
retire his number. That's being
yeah,
the one that caught him.
for sure. Sam Webb is annoying. Mellow number 7 says, I agree. I think, well, less annoying than he is a brown noser, if you will. Let me say that. You know what? I probably shouldn't be talking about these people. I'm probably ruining
You
some
probably will never
opportunities
get any
for
like
myself.
We will probably
Right.
never get hired at On3 or 247 now. It's just
Well,
like
look,
out the door.
no, because and look, to be fair, like I like Sam Webb. I think he does a decent job. I do, however, think he is very, very like I want to be overtly and overly friendly to recruits and their parents, which I understand too, but it comes off a little brown nosish. No
Hmm.
disrespect to Sam. I'm not calling him a brown noser. But it comes off that way. And look, no disrespect to EJ Holland. I'm just saying what the people are saying about EJ Holland, not necessarily me. Um, but anyway, I digress. I want to talk about other people on the Maize Madman. I will say this: since I have come around, me and some other, maybe one or two other Michigan channels, um, on 3 and TMI have kind of upped their YouTube presence, trying to up their YouTube presence. We can tell with their thumbs where they get their inspiration from sometimes, but
Hmm.
again, I digress.
The
Uh,
Wolverine, whoever runs that, I think is that 247.
the Wolverine is on 3.
Okay, well, because they copy your stuff all the time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Eh,
I appreciate it. Sam
Hey, man, you know what? You
Sunshine
need to
Web.
start suing people. Now, I'm just like how you were gonna get sued for your logo.
Yeah.
Just start suing people for copyright.
Well, no, I gotta tread very lightly because
No, I'm
I do
joking, man.
use a lot of the pictures from these sites.
No, you're good.
But keep that on the low
We won't talk about
as I have
that.
now said it all over the internet. Anyway, Sam he called Sam Sunshine Web Thank you. We got 35 people in here. We've been up to 36. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the live. Ryan, who do you think finishes last in the Big Ten East?
Oh, I forget there's still divisions.
I think this is the last year.
Who's all in the East? Rutgers in the East?
Rutgers is in the East.
Yeah, Rutgers.
Rutgers.
That-
For sure.
And the West,
I agree.
probably, I don't know who all is in the West. I think is Indiana in the West.
Indiana is wow, that's a great question. In the comment section, let us know. Is Indiana an East team?
Nobody knows.
I think Indiana might be a West team.
Indiana,
Michigan
yeah.
State.
No, they might be an East team.
I think they are an East team. I think the West starts in Purdue, which is still in Indiana, which is very weird.
I don't even know, man. Maybe I think Minnesota's going to be good. Nebraska's going to be good. Iowa, Wisconsin. I'm trying to think who else is in that division.
Someone said so Indiana's an East team. OSU going 9-3.
Yes, Northwestern.
Northwestern in the West, yeah.
Your good old friend AJ Henning is now a Northwestern Wildcat.
That's fair. Drew, you are right about that. We do Indiana is definitely an East team, and Northwestern, as Josh Bryant says, both of those teams I picked, by the way, to finish last. Northwestern in the West, Rutgers in the East. If Rutgers and Northwestern played for the championship of the worst team, who wins that game?
Rutgers.
I think Northwestern. I'm gonna go with Northwestern.
You think Northwestern? You know they lost to Southern Illinois, right?
They did. I also know they played. I also know they played the other state as well as anybody who didn't beat them last year.
The other state fans say, "Well, it was in a rainstorm."
Like the other school didn't have to play in the rainstorm either. It's ridiculous. They say, "Oh, well, they beat us in the snow." Like it only snowed when they had the ball or something. I don't know. Rutgers will finish ahead of Indiana. Stop. I don't think so.
I think Indiana's going to be like a borderline.
I could be wrong.
Team.
I could be wrong. I think we're at 13 years of East winning Big Ten.
Well, wait, when was the last time
the West has never won the Big Ten champion? Well, at least since the playoff.
Oh, okay.
Or no, since we've gone to the division, has the West won?
Well, technically, Iowa was a few inches away from winning, but Michigan State had to ruin it by getting a touchdown on 4th and goal to win. Little bro now. Yeah. Gotta love him.
And then proceeded to score 0 points.
It's against Alabama, and their kicker got a concussion.
Right.
Has anyone checked on that punter since that hit took place? Like, do we know if he's got CTE or anything like that? Like, I'm not making a joke. I'm being serious. Like, dude, that's one of my favorite moments in college football.
Jason Moose says 4-8 for Rutgers, 2-10 for Indiana. Come on, Moose.
Northwestern cannot win in the U.S. because they beat Nebraska last year.
Right, in Ireland, yeah, that's true.
And
it looked like it was going to be a good. It looked like it was going to be a good season for Northwestern after that. I was like, oh, they might be all right.
And they proceeded to never win a game.
You know, they outgained the other state in that game.
Wait, really?
I'm pretty sure they outgained them.
That's impressive.
Game. Yeah.
Hey, AJ Henning, who knows, man? He could get him one more win.
Indiana has nothing.
Hey, you know, Rutgers, actually, I've been watching more stuff about Rutgers. Yeah. They got a really solid young quarterback that was he was a 4-star quarterback.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like, not just Rutgers fans, but like I've seen a lot of buzz around him on a lot of Big Ten shows and stuff. I'm not too sure what his name is, but he's like, I guess he's a sophomore. He didn't get to play much last year, but they said that this could be the best Rutgers quarterback
Yeah,
since
he got in the
yeah,
game against Michigan. I know who you're talking about.
he's number 2 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean he could be good. Just doesn't matter. I like Greg
Yeah,
Schiano too. Like I think Greg Schiano's a good coach. But it's Rutgers. I just don't know how far
it's
you can take them
Rutgers.
in this league. No, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just in all seriousness, I don't know how far they can go in this league. In football anyway. So
Really
there's
quick,
that.
while we still have a lot of people tuning in, again, what the hell are you Michigan fans doing? That JJ McCarthy video has been up for a week now,
Yes.
and you guys are slacking. The Notre Dame videos have more views. Come on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. Like, where's the Go Blue Nation at? Where's the support for your future Heisman Trophy winning quarterback? Like, seriously.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said, especially the part where you said future Heisman Trophy winner, as in this season, upcoming season's Heisman Trophy winner, JJ McCarthy,
I'm just
who
feeding his ego, everybody.
who
No.
just may break Michigan passing records this season. I expect that to happen. By the way,
But please,
it's gonna,
Phil, tell the
yeah,
people where they should go to go support their future Heisman Trophy
yeah.
winning quarterback.
Week zero Productions has the JJ McCarthy um, video. I think you put that up a week or two ago.
Yep.
Yep.
It's got 40
Um,
some views. That's disrespectful to JJ.
it is disrespectful. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's disrespectful to Mr. McCarthy, and we need to fix that. And we can fix that. So go fix it. Anyway, we've reached that time in the show where we must bid you adieu. Ryan, what do you have before we get out of here?
Not much, man. We gotta, like I said, doing that JOK little brother article here soon. I'm
Right.
going on vacation, so I'm taking a break.
Okay.
I'm going to the Dells for the week or
Very
for the
nice.
weekend. So I'll be up in good old Scotty country. I'll probably see a
Man,
lot of
you are
Badger
speaking
fans.
a foreign language to me right now. The
That's what they
Dells and
call.
Scotty.
Yeah, that's
What
what
is
they
this?
call that's what we call Wisconsin fans
Got you. All
and
right.
people that aren't Big Ten fans. We call them Scotty.
Got it.
Because they don't. We can't say
The
Wisco.
Dells sounds like a old Motown group. I don't
It's
know.
so the Wisconsin Dells. I'm sure it's like a water park resort area
Okay.
in Wisconsin.
All
It's
right.
really popular. Um.
Are
So
you
yeah,
driving?
yeah, we're driving. So, but yeah, we don't say Wisco because Wisconsin hasn't got any dubs in any meaningful games recently, so we can't say
Gee.
Wisco anymore. So it's just Scotty.
Oh, Scotty. Got it. That's
But
hilarious.
by the way, that badger is hideous. I've always thought that design for that badger was ugly.
I don't like that Badger either. I agree with you. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go finish my application for On3 and 24/7. Apologize to EJ. See what happens. Anyway, until next time, guys. Stay angry, my friends. I'm upset.